This etude is meant to provide an opportunity for you to demonstrate what a great sound you can get out of your instrument. And that sound changes on the string, so and focusing on the bow is critically important for this etude. And getting a good sound right away on this low string can be a little tricky. I recommend figuring out how to get that sound right away like this. If you place it right here, it's a pretty decent spot to start messing around. If you place your bow there and experiment with your speed and your weight until you get a forte sound that you like. So I'm going to start too fast and too light. And that doesn't work, so I'm going to get heavier. It's a little too aggressive, so I'm going to slow down. Once I have a sound that I like, I'm going to try to memorize the speed and the weight and the feeling of that sound on my hand. And the next step will be like, how can I start that sound immediately? And we've got to grip the string. And what I'm doing is I'm putting some of the weight of my hand on here. Actually, if I get close to the frog, you can like let go of everything. My thumb's hanging out back here too, and it stays in place just from the weight of my hand. So if I grip the string and I move the bow back and forth like that, you can see the string move. But I'm not letting go yet, so it's not making a sound, obviously. Now the goal is going to be to get that grip and then to immediately start to move how I was moving earlier. When I memorize that feeling, can I take off at that speed and weight immediately? And it's difficult to be consistent about that, so it's something you kind of have to obsess over and practice over and over and over. Now can I keep that tone and cross strings? And it'll be different since the G string is so tight. It's going to be different. If I do the same thing on the G string, it's going to be kind of nasty. So you have to become a master of digging in on those low strings and lightening up a little bit on that high string. When you start at the beginning, what I recommend you do, so for example, here's the rhythm to start the piece. It sounds like this. Do that one more time. It starts on that F natural, then the A, and then the C. I highly recommend you practice without any fingers. Just practice the open strings in time and in rhythm. And see if we can get a good sound just on the open strings. Once you feel pretty confident and you're consistently getting the sound that you want, then go back and add the left hand. Whoops. And try to focus more on your tone than on that left hand. The left hand will take care of itself pretty well on this piece. If we look ahead to measure 2 sounds like this. Here it is again. So if I focus just on the bow and playing on open strings, trying to get a good sound. And once I get the sound that I want from the open strings, then I add the left hand. If you contrast that first line where you have a forte dynamic on a really thick string with the third line where you have a mezzo piano dynamic on a thinner string, our technique has to change with it. So now I'm going to really lighten up the bow. If I keep that same heavy tone again, it's going to sound awful. So I have to really lighten up my bow and just kind of let it glide across, especially at a mezzo piano dynamic, right? I'm just kind of letting the bow slide across and guiding it across. So here's that third line, at least the start of it. You can hear I'm having a difficult time with that shaky bow, so we really got to relax and let go and try it over and over and over and over until you get a really beautiful, smooth sound all the way through. at the very end, as it gets louder and louder, we dig in more and more. It's important also as you get up high to that high F that you tune your bow a little bit. So let your bow drop as your left hand goes up the instrument. If we go up on that last line,